Testing. Is this thing on? Welcome back to the Old Church Couch Podcast with your boys, Eli and Zay. It has been a long time. Sorry about that, OCC family. You know, we've been going through a lot. There's been a lot going on, and we're going to give you guys a few updates, but we just thank you guys for really, like, reaching out and supporting us through the lull of, like,
everything.
Yeah, just
life the past couple 4 months.
The past couple months has just been crazy. So I'm gonna hand it over to my co-host Eli, and then we're gonna get it popping. We're gonna give you some updates.
I mean, I say first and foremost, just thank God. I guess like I was on the way here and I was just praying. I'm like, yo, like I'm genuinely just excited to be back. Like genuinely excited just to be able to pod again and like just have fun with this. Like I don't want to ever lose the fact that this is all for like one God, but like second, just for us to have fun with. Like,
right.
It's not for nothing more than that. It's not for, we're not chasing after nothing except for one, to glorify God, and two, to just have fun. Like literally, that's it. And I'm just excited to be here. And we just appreciate y'all. Like y'all waited, but we're back now, consistent now.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess hit us with some life updates, Zay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I made this apparent on the last episode that we did, which was in like November maybe or something like that.
I think maybe last week November, first week December,
something like that. So
yeah, we suck.
Yeah, man, we was off for a minute, but just some life updates. So me and Michaela finally got engaged.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I talked about it on the last episode, but unfortunately my father had passed away, so we had taken a really long break for that one because it was a lot. But
I feel like it was just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it was thing on top of thing on like Pop's passed, then my birthday, then Christmas, then New Year's, and then what else happened? Then the job change, and then all this other, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, me and Michaela got engaged, which is awesome. If y'all see this wedding band, it's not a wedding band, I promise. I have my own engagement ring. Yo, let's normalize the culture of men getting engagement rings too, because I'm not trying to walk around bare for the next year and a half, 2 years, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, but you're waiting longer, though. You're waiting longer.
I am waiting a little longer, finances and whatnot. But yeah, so we had gotten engaged. I had a job change. I started working for a construction company called Nickerson, which is cool. We've been doing like these jobs in the city, which has been good, man. It's been sustainable. It's been sustainable. I've been able to take care of the bills and do what I have to do for me and Michaela on the financial side. So it's been cool. What else? That's really about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just been like different. Just so many different changes within the last couple months. And then we had taken a break from podcasting just because like it was kind of a crazy commitment that we had to.
Once a week.
Yeah, like once a week we had to come here and set up and allocate that time, and like that time was just taken away just from like the job change,
looking for jobs, stuff like that at the time. Yeah. And I guess just even like adjustment overall. Like, yo, I'm like completely transparent with this all the time. Like the adjustment period for me is terrible. Yeah. Like I've never been good at it. Like I moved around a lot as a kid, so it's like adjusting. So it just has like a bad like. It's just not good for me. So it's just like also job change, like all the stuff that's been going on as well. Like the podcast, having to adjust to just everything changing so much, it just became a lot. So to even just be able to be consistent, post, like there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And like we're fairly new to this. So it's like, all right, we got to get the tripods. We got to get the mics. We got to do this. We got to set time for this. We got to set time to edit, set time to post. Right. We have to get to our jobs regularly. So it's been a lot.
Right. Like, and then like marketing and networking and all that other stuff that goes into podcasting, like trying to better ourselves on this platform. Yeah. It's just been, it's been a lot, but we're back. Yo, March is a new season, like that spring rolls around and you get that new bloom. This is really
that's
like
what I'm happy about. Let's talk about that, man.
This is really like the new year. You know what I'm saying? Like once that first bloom comes around,
but it's January 1st for us,
right? For real.
We got the late nights now. Sun don't go down till 7 o'clock.
Right. Y'all see the lighting in here. I know if some of y'all have ever seen like
we upgraded.
Right. If some of y'all have seen some of our old reels and whatnot, we used to have
lamps,
dark in here. The Christmas tree was it was.
We used used to struggle for lighting. We used to grab like little flashlights,
right?
set
Flashlights, setting up everything, just trying to get the best kind of lighting. You know me, I'm a dark skin. I need the lighting.
That boy needs that 4 o'clock sunshine.
I sure do.
Right off the
really
face.
Do.
Yo, we need ring cameras. Not the ring Jones.
Yeah, the ring lights.
The ring lights. Yeah,
we might need those for some night episodes.
But
yeah, that's been me. What about you, E? What's going on? You got a lot more updates than I do.
It's not really updates. Just so I'm just preparing to get married, like preparing for a new life. You know, with everything that it looks like. So job change, like I said. You know, just looking for better positions to be in to provide for my fiance, a future life. You know, whatever that brings. You know, no kids yet, but like if kids come, you know what I'm saying. But like just being able to prepare for that financially wise, and even spiritually wise. You know, just preparing myself to be a good man for her as well. You know, just being consistent with my word, which, you know, I'm not gonna say I haven't been slacking. I will never say I'm slacking, but as Christians, we can always all do better. So just pushing myself to be better for her and, you know, to be better submitted onto God. So she can be better submitted onto me and just preparing myself. Like marriage is big. So, you know, I just want to be as ready as I can be. But like, you know, you'll never actually be ready, but, you know, I'm gonna try my hardest to be as ready as I can be.
Right.
So yeah, just figuring out like living situation with her, all that. You know, thank God for my family, my uncles, you know, who are always there for me, and they've given me a big blessing with that. So thankful for that. You know, just preparing for the wedding. We got engagement parties coming up. We got all this stuff. Bachelor. She just had her Galentine, so it's just a lot behind the scenes. And yeah, I'd say that. And just looking for whatever it is God has for me. You know, I've still been on social media. I've been posting on social media still. On my Instagram and stuff like that, but no, I really want to get back to the podcast. That's what I want to get back to. I want to get back to doing this and just having more opportunities just to spread the gospel, man. Like that's really what I really want to do. So yeah, that's my life.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good. Yo, you brought my box?
I didn't.
Of course you did. All right. So this is I guess it's another update. So Eli's getting married. He's getting married before me, but he made me a groomsman.
I did.
First and foremost, I appreciate it, bro. Like just watching you having grown from what you were to what you are now, and like getting married and like taking this huge step in your life, man. It's a huge milestone, and I'm proud of you, bro. Good. Like I'm glad to be alongside you. Yes, what I'm not glad about is that you be forgetting this box every time. I seen everybody post their box on social media. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to post mine. What's up? But
look. So here's the thing: is I woke up this morning and my nose is feeling stuffy, and I had like dry mouth. I'm like, man, like why do I have to feel this way today? But we ain't gonna let the devil stop nothing. Word. Right. So, so I you know, wake up, my routine, wash my face, brush my teeth, all that, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, before I leave, take Zay's box. But I don't have him in my room. I have him in my dining room table. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. Let me go upstairs. The craziest thing is I went upstairs knowing that I had to grab something. I went to the fridge to look for a drink, walked out. Then I'm coming down, I was coming down 112, and I'm like, yo, I forgot Zay's box. I could turn around right now.
And you did.
Nah, cause look, you gotta understand though. I had to bust a UE and all that, so it was a lot that played into it. And I was like, look, I'm gonna see Zay again on Sunday probably. You coming for Easter, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna
exactly.
By
so you know, I'll see him on Sunday. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you that. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, but yeah. Groomsman, Zay's a groomsman, you know what I'm saying? Honored to bring my closest friends with me. So we got him, Cedric, Isaac, he was on the podcast, and Caleb. And shout out to all my other guys too. I love all y'all, but I also had to put my actual brothers on there. Right. I had to put my fiance's brothers on there too. So, you know, and I already have 8 groomsmen and my best man. So it's a lot. Yeah, like I have a lot. So like if I would have had everybody on there, it would have been like 16 groomsmen. That just would have been bad. Like imagine Brianne walking down the aisle. She looked to her right side, and all she sees is 16 men all down. Like that's insane to me. So, but I love everybody, and like I said, just God is good, man. Like it's all the sanctification. Like literally all that from who I was then to where I am now, and just you know. Literally, all glory to God, all credit to God, everything, bro.
It's been a crazy ride, bro. Even like your hair, bro. Like your hair, your style. Like you used to be like.
I used to be like hype beast.
Yeah, wearing all the brand new Jordans. Now look at you out here with the mom sneakers.
My Vomeros, bro. What you mean? Don't sleep with my Vomeros, bro.
You went from wearing skinny jeans to baggy sweatpants. You don't wear nothing that skinny no more.
It's because I'm not skinny.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
Hey, look, the clothes become baggy when you get baggy. You know what?
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, God is good. And all right, so let's talk about this now. In these past 4 months, what has been the biggest lesson God has taught you?
The biggest lesson that God, and it
could be a couple. It could be a couple.
I know. All right, so my first one would definitely be patience.
Yes, sir.
Patience is like, this is the biggest cliche, and like it's not like a biblical cliche, but like it's just a cliche. Like patience is a virtue, right?
Yeah.
And the more like you wait on things, and like the more you do, like, all right, so let me take you to a situation, right? So I've been kind of like praying and waiting on this specific thing that I'm not really gonna talk about on the podcast because it hasn't happened yet. But I've been praying and I've been mulling about this thing for months, knowing that I have to do it, like knowing that I have to do this thing. But in the meantime of me not doing this thing, I'm like, yo, what what am I supposed to do, right? So I go to God and I'm asking God, like, hey, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know, like it's just been like radio silence, right? And I guess this also plays into like the second lesson that I learned, which is obedience. So patience and obedience is like really my two main things. In the season of waiting for me to like, in the season of waiting for God to like give me like some sort of direction, I've had to like, I don't know, like just like do things to understand why I'm in that waiting season. You know, like I've been waiting on this thing and I'm like, yo, God, like when is it gonna come? When is it gonna happen? When is it gonna come? Like you already said yes. When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? And like, you know, like he's been very, very quiet, and I'm like, you know, like I'm getting like anxious, bro. I'm like, yo, God, like
speak audibly now,
right? Please, like you said, like you, like I know your promises never fail, but like right now, I don't feel like they passing right now. I feel like they failing, you know.
Which we all have that. Yeah.
So in the season of like waiting, you know, I've also had to learn like that obedience. You know, like all right, if I'm waiting, I might as well do something to pass the time while I wait, you know? So, like, growing my relationship with God, being obedient to, like, what his word says, and, like, really, instead of being a Christian, being, like, a man of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, being so heavy in my word and, like application to my life of the word, you know? Like, it's just been, like, so refreshing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to be fed. And obviously, like, you know, you're like, you get fed in church by the word, and you get fed by, like, other sources. But, like, when you really sit down by yourself, and like you really crack open your word and you read and you study and you highlight and you take notes and you journal and you pray and, you know, like you pray for that wisdom. Like it's just been, I don't know, it's been like very refreshing. So in that season of patience and waiting, I've learned a different kind of like discipline and obedience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just been, you know, I'm able to like have conversations with other people who have been in the same places or are currently in the same place. Like, I was having a conversation with one of our friends the other day. You know, like he's in a season of waiting, and he's like, well, what do I do in the season of waiting? Because like I'm just waiting on this person to, you know, like come around, and like I have feelings for them and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, grow your relationship with God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel called to this person and you feel like this person is called to you, but God says not yet, then what are you doing in the meantime? Like, are you just going to sit around twiddling your thumbs, or are you going to be like, okay, God, well, while I'm waiting for that, what do I do to grow closer to you and make myself a better person so that I can be, you know, like better equipped and better prepared for that person to come around, you know? So like that patience and that obedience has been a huge, huge lesson.
Yeah. No, I even feel like, I don't know who it was, like, but even like this trajectory, because there's so many people who like always like, man, like, you know, I feel called to this person, or, you know, I really want to be with this person, you know, but, you know, I don't know what to do yet. And I'm like, I feel like the trajectory of what you're doing in that situation just shows if you're ready or not.
Right.
Because then it's like, if you know that God has confirmed it, but it's not that time yet, what are you doing to prepare yourself for that time?
Exactly.
So then it's like, if you choose to, you know, in that time, don't you think that you're going to either one, prolong it, or two, miss it?
Right.
Because then it's like, if you're in that situation, you're in the middle of it, and you say, you know what, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to do my thing until God brings that person to my life. Why would he give you the person if you're not ready for the person?
Exactly.
You know, that makes no sense. But, you know, I just wanted to hit on that. But that's fire though. Patience and obedience.
I think those are gonna be like my words of the year, man. Like patience and obedience. Because
did you do like a prayer board in the beginning of the year?
I didn't. I didn't have like the opportunity.
Because I did a word of the year, but it's weird though because the word that I chose has low key been the word that has been like that I've needed so far.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it was like a prophetic word, nothing like that, but it's just like I was like I guess in the season I was in the beginning of the year, I felt like just so brought onto that word, and I decided to put it as my word of the year, and just to be able to step out in it. But word.
Yeah, bro. That I probably should do a prayer board next year. I mean, it's March. I don't know if
March. You can still do one.
Fair enough.
I'm about to do like a. I'm not gonna do a prayer. It's not like a prayer board, but I'm gonna do like. I'm gonna put my goals on a board. I wouldn't even call it a vision board because it's not my vision. It's like it's weird. I'm gonna do like a board of like goals that I want to hit, just to keep myself hold myself accountable of what it is that I want to succeed in this year. Of course, outside of podcast. Well, podcast is gonna be on the board, but with other things that I have on like business ventures, stuff like that. But just to hold me accountable and, bro, like. I want to do ministry for my life, but then it's like I just said, it's like the trajectory. What's the trajectory of what you do? Is the trajectory of what you do in the meantime is what's going to prepare you most. So it's like, yes, I want to do ministry bad, but what am I going to do to prepare myself for ministry?
Right.
It's like if this is not the time that God has called me into ministry, then what am I going to do to prepare myself for that? So for me right now, it's okay. How can I set myself up? How can I set Brianna up? How can I set my family up? And everything. So by the time God says, you know what, I'm going to call you out now, it's like, I'm ready for it. I don't have to prepare myself then, but I'm ready now. So I can prepare myself now. So by the time it's then, it's okay, I could just walk in full obedience to God and not have like the weight of, okay, but I have to provide, so I can't step into ministry, or, oh, but I have to do this. No, but I want to be able to be in a position to where it's like, these things can work for me, and now I'm just working for God.
Right.
So it's like, the other day I was as I told you, I just got the new job, and I was praying on it, and I just kept praying and praying and praying. And it's like a funny story, like the way how even God works, bro. Like I don't know if I told you this, but so I had applied for a housing inspection job with a company. I'm not gonna say the company name, and I'm like, we're not bashing nobody. The Lord loves everybody, but they ended up like pump faking me almost. Like it's like almost like they shot it but pulled the shot back down. It's weird, but. It's like say you're in the paint right now, you backing somebody down, you trying to pump, like, bro, it's literally like that.
Right.
So I had put my application in, all of that, right? And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pray on this. I thought it was 100% locked. I had multiple connections within the job, so I'm like, yo, I'm good. They're gonna put in words for me, so I'm okay, right? Like God is good, God is faithful. He showed up already. Yes, sir.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
Bro, they hit me with so they called me and they're like, man, we love your resume so much. We want to offer you the position above. So I'm like, wow, okay. Like I'm thinking God is working behind the scenes. I'm not even seeing what's going on.
Right.
I'm walking in favor, abundance. I'm walking in everything. And then a couple of days later, well, that same day she called me back. She was like, hey, I need you to get a cover letter in. I'm really going to push for you to get this job. So I'm like, all right, cool. But it's the hiring manager. Right. So I'm like, yo, if the hiring manager is saying this, I have it.
Yeah.
Anyways, she ended up putting me to the department manager. He said, oh, he needs to see a little more from me, which is respectable. So they're like, but that position that you applied for, that can give you the experience. So I'm like, all right, perfect. Then I'll just go back to the position I applied for, less money, but like, again, I could work myself up. In a couple months, I'll be there, so I'm making even more money.
Right.
Bro, so you pump faked the raise already, which you pump faked that.
Yeah.
Then I get an email a couple days after, hey, we're just going to close applications completely. Bro, and I'm just sitting there. Did I tell you that? I told you that, right?
Yeah, you told, but you didn't tell me in detail
Bro,
like this.
They were like, hey, we're just going to close applications completely for this job. But we're going to keep your resume and file. And I'm like, man. All right, so in my mind, right, and I'm not stressing it. Like, at the end of the day, I have my full, complete trust in God, knowing that he is going to, even if it's in the last moment, something's going to come up. So no worries yet. In my mind, I'm just like, all right, I know I need something. And, bro, like, I'm not one of those people that can just sit around, which I haven't been sitting around. I've been putting in hours with my uncle. Shout out to my uncle in his bakeries. He's been, again, huge blessing in my life. I love my uncle to death. But I've been putting in hours with him, so I've been good. But it's like I need to do something that I know is going to help me prepare myself. It's like, yeah, I'm making enough money to hold myself off, enough money to sustain myself, do things that I want to do. But okay, now I need to make money to actually like provide, bro. So like I'm applying to multiple places, and then I'm on Indeed. Shout out to Indeed.
Yo, I hate Indeed sometimes.
Why? Nah, sometimes it's trash. But if you look for the gems, they have gems in there.
Yeah, but they be on page like 287.
They do. You gotta. When I tell you, I used to be up to like 1 a.m. scrolling, bro. I was up until 1 a.m. scrolling, just trying to find something, and ended up all being good. Like, so, I found the new job that I'm in now. It's called Power. So I found them, and I applied. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, I seen the salary and what they expect from somebody. It's a sales job, but God is good, so it's a good salary and good sales. So I'm good regardless. But so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw my application in. I know a lot of these jobs, they want people with experience. I got an email within like 20 minutes, right? So I'm like, okay, it's one of them like automated, hey, set up a phone call, like recruit almost. So I'm like, all right, perfect. Phone call came, amazing. Second thing comes, interview the next day on Zoom, amazing. Third day comes, interview in person, amazing, right? So I ended up getting the job. And here's the crazy thing, and this is where I know it's been a long story, but this is where God works the funniest in. And this is there's just certain things that God will do in situations to show that His hand is in it. And somebody had told me that. If you're hearing this, I love you, man. But he'll know. But so like God will show His hand in situations in the funniest ways that sometimes you will only expect it. So I'm driving in, and I don't even know how to picture this, but it's like an office building. And I'm driving in, and it's literally only like 5 minutes away from here, bro. Literally, like I'm right
from
next
here.
Yeah, right next to the house. So it's right off 110 near the LIE Farmingdale, though. Literally right off 110. So it's half Melville, half Farmingdale. But I'm pulling into the office. Right, it's an office building that shares multiple offices. Tell me why the office next door to us is the office that denied me for the job, bro.
Of course it is.
And then the office, bro. I walk in. I was like, yo, God is just so good. At the end of the day, it's like I seen that's where He could have put me. And I'm not saying like it's a great job, still a great opportunity, but it's just like He will always give you something that's better and always will remind you, okay, look, I took you from there and I'm gonna bring you here. So it's just like I could have been there, and I automatically prayed. I'm like, Lord, like, thank you for whatever you just saved me from. Whatever that could have been in that job that wouldn't have been good, that wouldn't have been good for me. Thank you, because at the end of the day, I know I'm in your hands. So if my life is in your hands, everything good is going to happen. Right? Not everything good like that, but I'm gonna be blessed regardless. So I'm fine. So it's just like the fact that I'm just driving in, I'm looking at where I could have been, and now I'm looking at where I'm at, and it's just like, wow, okay. Now I know God's hand has been on this, because every single day I go in now, it's a reminder of, okay, God could have had me there, but He has placed me here. Right. So it's just knowing that it's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy how God works, man. Like, just I don't know, just how we've been talking, like sporadically throughout the months. From leaving the job that we work together to now, like being on two separate ventures, but like, just God having His hand in everything. It's just been,
regardless of what we do.
Right.
That's literally ordering the steps of the righteous, though. Like, think about it. It's like, no matter where we go, we're blessed. Like, and that's, of course, and I'm not gonna, because there's like a big thing, like, as Christians, we face a lot of trials. Like, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Like, and that's something I will always stand on. Like, it's we're going to face things in life, like these past couple months, both of us. Right. But it's like, at the end of the day, when God's hand is on your life, regardless of what the situation looks like, you're going to be fine. Like, you're always going to walk out victorious, because we have a God who's already conquered everything. Right. So it's like, knowing that, it's like anywhere I go, no matter what bad things happen, I know there's going to be a lesson in it, and I know it's only to grow me more to what He has for me instead. So it's just like, for instance, in that, my faith, it's like I've never been in a position as a Christian to where my faith has actually been tested. Like, I've only been doing this walk faithfully for a year and change now. Right. I've been in Bible college 6 months now. So, God has been so good, but then it's like you never truly know what faith is until your faith is being tested. Like, little faith will waver, bro. It will completely go. But it's that big faith. It's knowing that you have your complete trust in God that will last forever, bro. Right. And it's like sometimes I feel like that's the reason why we go through situations, to see, you know what, my faith right now is being put to test. How am I going to react, and how am I going to move? I could have easily worried. I could have easily sat down and be like, you know what, God, you told me I'm gonna have a good life. You said my steps are ordered. I'm right. I'm good. But then it's like, at the end of the day, if He's not putting you through this little bit of fire, it's like, how will you truly know where your faith is? How can you truly say, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have faith through anything. It's like, as a new Christian, to me, back then it's like, man, I'm so on fire for God, I'll do anything. Will you really do anything though?
Right.
You know, would you really step out in obedience? Would you really step out in faith? Would you really, you know, walk in what he has for you, walk in his will? Or are you going to say, yeah, I have faith, but walk in your will?
Right.
You know, and that's another big thing, is aligning my will with his will. Like praying that every day, Lord, align my will with your will. Align my wants with your wants. I wanted that job. Right. But then it's like, I'm going to continue to pray. I'm going to continue to pray. And now I have this job. And ultimately, I'm blessed regardless. And it's like just having that. And that's my word of the year. I was going to wait. But, bro, I literally titled my year in January, Year of Faith. Not knowing why I was going to title it that, but just knowing, yo, this year I want to put extra trust in God, knowing that I'm completely in his hands. Right. Like, my life, his hands. He has, like, literally from the day I was formed, he knew me. Like, he knows the plans he has for me. Like he knows. So it's like, completely being obedient to that and trusting in him, saying every single day I'm going to take up my cross, I'm going to take up my wants, and I'm going to just walk in obedience to God. And like a Bible verse that has always stuck to me is like, you know, many are the plans in a person's heart, but the Lord's will prevail. And it's like God's will is going to prevail regardless. Right. Like I can do whatever I want, but at the end of the day, like his will be done. Jonah, right? Like his will be done. So it's like anything, I could run away from God, I could run away from the clock, I could run away from ministry, but I know at the end of the day, God's will is going to be done, bro. Right. So it's just, it's a lot going on, bro. It's a lot going on.
Honestly, bro, but it's been refreshing to like watch somebody who's going through something similar to me and like just be able to prevail through all of it, knowing that God's got you always, you know. And like, honestly, I say I a lot, but I can't accredit myself to half of the things that I've been doing over these last couple months. Like first of all glory to God, and then like secondly, I have to give my flowers to my fiance. Yeah, like she's been holding me down. She's been my rock for the last couple of months. You know, like sometimes things get tough, and like she's got, like I thought I had big faith. She just be throwing it into the wind. She don't care what happens. She's like, God got it, and throw it into the wind. You know, and like me personally growing up, you know, like. It was always difficult. It's like, okay, but like yeah, I know, I understand God's got it, but like, then what do I do? You know, I have to make sure this. I have to make sure this. Like I've always been a person who's needed like that security, like the worldly security of like, okay, but well, if God's got it, I'm still gonna stay in the job that's not meant for me because like I need the security of money. Yeah, and I've learned. And this also ties into the lessons that I've been learning, like my word of the year. It's like God's not going to give you something if you're not obedient to what he told you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like I've been this same thing that I've been, you know, like just mulling over and whatnot. I know like God has something bigger. And like before I was like really like holding on to like the idea of the obedience. Like you won't receive the blessing until you have the obedience. Yeah. I was like, oh, but I'm just gonna stay here because like I need the security of having something. Yeah. Right. And like faith, having faith is like letting go of like that worldly security because you know that God is like your ultimate provider. You know what I'm saying? And like that obedience to like let go of that thing that I know I'm supposed to let go of so that I can step in something bigger. It's like, you know, like and Michaela understands that so well, and she's like, you're not going to be able to walk through another door if you haven't closed the door that you were supposed to close. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, good. Like, I'm like, baby, you're right, but don't talk to me right now.
That's how it be. Like when that biblical correction comes in, it's just like,
right. It's like, yo,
so I don't need to hear that right now.
Yo, let me sulk, like chill.
Let me be mad,
right? Like,
and then I'm gonna realize,
right? Let me be angry about it. But nah, she doesn't allow me to do that. So like having that person behind me, like having Michaela behind me, and she's like constantly pushing. Yeah. You know, like it's made me into a better leader. You know, like and it's preparing me for like being a leader of a household. You know, just being
a husband.
Yeah, just like being able to throw it to God and being like, yo, God, like here's the alley oop, you got it. You know,
like throw this on the backboard for you. But right, I need you to dunk that.
Right. Yeah. Off the backboard, I need you to 360 in between the legs, whatever you got to do. But I, you know, like I'm putting all my trust in you because like I don't know, like it just,
I mean, what more can we do?
Right, you
like,
know.
We're not meant to hold on to that stress. Like we're meant to cast that stress. So
exactly.
It's like, why am I going to, and I've noticed it's like any single time that I've dwelled upon something that I shouldn't be dwelling upon, I'm the one that ends up being stressed. Like I'm the one that ends up in a bad place when it's like all I could really do is cast it. Like stress is not something we're meant to hold on to, but it's something we're meant to give on to God. And it's like, you know, his what is the verse? My yoke is easy and my burden. No, yeah. For the Yo, am I choking right now? Hold on.
He said, I'm choking.
I
mean, you're better than me with biblical memorization. Sometimes I struggle with it.
Anyways, I'm gonna come back. I guarantee it's gonna come to me in 2 seconds. But it's just like we're meant to cast that. Like his yoke is easy, right? So it's like everything that we're going through, it's like, all right, Lord, here. Like I'm not holding on to this. If I hold on to this, I'm done. But if you hold on to this, we're good. Why? Because you can hold on to everything. Like he's all knowing. He's omnipotent, omniscient, benevolent. Like it's like all of this stuff. Why? Like why carry that? Why hold on to this? And it's just like that's even something I've learned. Like you've learned it with your patience and obedience, and I've learned it with my faith. It's like I'm not gonna hold on to, the stress of job security. I'm not gonna hold on to the stress of marriage. Not marriage because it's giving me stress, but
like
being
marriage
a good man.
And like
yes,
all
exactly.
That stuff.
And even like being a man worthy of being submitted to. Like I'm not gonna stress that. Like because I know if I'm submitted onto God, automatically I'm good. Right. Literally, automatically I'm good. And even like what you were saying, it's like I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. And like you ever like get into a situation and like, all right, so have you ever seen those videos where they're like, all right, I'm gonna show you something and you have to give a sermon on it real fast. So if I show you a water bottle, boom, preach about a water bottle.
Yeah.
So I forgot what she had said, and she had said something about a door. I was like, you know what, Mom? There's something about a door, and I'll tell you this one thing about a door. I said, if you try to force yourself into a door, you're going to end up in a door you should have never been in. Stop trying to force yourself into the door that God didn't have planned for you. If God had a plan for you, that door would open right up. It's not going to be a struggle to get it open.
Right.
And it's like, it's a joke, but it's true. It's
that's facts.
Listen to how, like, it's like, if you have to pry your way into a door, that door is not meant for you.
Yes,
if you have to play with a lock, that door is not meant for you. If you have to beg to get into a door, that door is not meant for you. But the doors that God has for you are going to be doors that are just wide open that he has for you. And you'll know it. If you have discernment, if you have a relationship, it'll be something that feels so good. What was it Michaela that had said she's been praying specific prayers in episode 2? Was that Michaela?
I believe so, yeah.
Or was it the couples episode? Somebody had said something about praying specific prayers, and it stayed with me. Like there'd be certain stuff that I really hold on to, and I was like, you know what? Like, even in the whole job search, I know we keep talking about it, but it's like I prayed a specific prayer to God, like on my knees, and I'm like, Lord, like, give me something that everybody around me is going to look like and be like, nah, that's too good to be true. And it's like where I am right now, I genuinely feel like that's what God has. It's like when I had got this and I was telling people and they're like, nah, that seems too good to be true. But it's like everything so far has aligned to what it is that I've prayed for specifically. Right. That it's just I know for a fact, like, okay, God has this. With what I said earlier, driving past the other job while walking into my building. Literally looking at the door to go into there and saying, nah, but this is the door God has for me. It's like, that's where obedience is, bro. And it's just there's so many lessons in that. And, even like we said, like the new job change from both of us working together, it's like we know we're called into ministry. Like we know that's what God has for us. But ultimately, it's on his time. And it's like, I trust his time more than I trust my time.
Of course.
If it's not right now, then I know there's a reason why it's not right now. Maybe it's on my side. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I have more growing to do. Maybe it's other things. Maybe other things aren't ready. Maybe there's stuff that God is still aligning spiritually that we just don't see yet, and it's fine. And I'm fine with that. And I had to grow with being okay with that. But if there's one thing I've taken away from it, it's just the fact that, like, my will is aligned with his.
Yeah.
I'm not walking outside of nothing but his will. So if he has that, then he has that. So then I have to ultimately trust in his time. And I was reading, I believe, Matthew 9 or 10 the other day, and I put a footnote, and I said, be ready for when God says, follow me. And I had put that purposely because he was talking about Matthew at the time and how Matthew gave up a job as a tax collector. And we all know the tax collector is everybody else, it was a looked upon job. But at the end of the day, Matthew was making bank. He was making money. He was making a good living. And that's why everybody else besides him felt betrayed. They're like, yo, you sold us out. You want to do this. You want to be with the Romans, but, look how they have us, right? You're working as a tax collector.
Yeah.
But the Jews almost felt like they were, how can I say, I'm not going to say enslaved, but, it was unfair. They were treated unfairly.
They were like oppressed.
Exactly. I'd say more oppressed, yeah. So then it's like he's making all that bank just for Jesus to look at him and say, follow me. So I said, be obedient like Matthew was obedient. So when God says, Eli, follow me, I'm following him. So it's just like preparation, knowing that, okay, everything is being aligned with his will, I'm good. So it's just like that obedience, like you even said, like the open doors and being ready to know, like just having that discernment when it's like, okay, this is the time that God has this door for me open, trusting in him, allowing him to prune us. Like I was telling you that, the waiting room, bro. I'm still holding on to that, bro.
Yeah.
The waiting room, bro. Shout out to and the refiner season, bro. Like being tried by fire, like being purified through that fire. Like think about gold. Gold isn't pure until what? It's put through the fire.
Yeah, put
so
through
it's
the
like,
fire,
bro, it's like we're in that refiner season, bro. And I truly believe that for both of us, that like this is a time right now where God is just taking everything in us, continuing to prune us, taking out the bad stuff as we bear more fruits, taking out the stuff that we shouldn't be bearing, like, and just ultimately like I would say just molding us like potter, like literally like potter and clay,
the potter.
bro. Like, literally like we're his potter. Like he's sitting there, he's molding us, his hands are on our lives, and we're just being molded into something that's beautiful. Then just trusting in that, bro, trusting in his plan, and just like you said, bro, patience, being patient with the plan. You know how easy it is to lose patience, bro.
Yo, bro, you're telling me, bro. Like, yo, when I first had to change jobs, I was like literally the next day I was like, yo, I need a job, bro. And at that time I had kind of like, I wouldn't say taking a step back, but just like, you know, like I lost track of like being in my word because I was looking for that worldly security of like, yo, I need a job. Once I get a job, then I can get back on track with my with my walk with God, because I'll be able to do other things, you know, like. But I'm like, then I started to like read a little bit more, you know, and like some of these people gave up everything. Yeah, people gave up their like a lot of the disciples gave up everything that they had. Yeah, literally everything that they had. They gave up their lives at home. They gave up their families. They gave up their children, their wives, their jobs, to go follow God. And in turn they were blessed so much, like just by his teachings and like being around him. Like they captured the anointing that they were around, you know, just by like being obedient and being like faithful and patient. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so easy for Simon and Peter to be like so frustrated.
Andrew.
I mean, sorry. Yes.
It was Simon Peter. I said the same person.
Sorry. Yeah, it was so easy for them to be like frustrated and impatient because like, yo, like why are we not catching any fish? Yeah. Why are we sitting on this boat? We've been stuck on this boat for so long, not catching any fish. What are we doing here? You know? And then when they decide to like when they finally decide to follow Jesus, and like they become like so like immersed in his presence, and like they pull in like everything that he's been teaching them, they catch fish, but they catch so much more than just fish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like I want to be like obedient and patient like that, to the point where I'm like, God, I it doesn't matter if I'm in the driest of ravines, if I'm in the lagoon and there's nothing here but seaweed, this boat and me. Yeah. As long as I'm following you and as long as I have you, I don't care what I have, because like if I have you, I have everything. Yeah. You know, like it doesn't matter how much fish I pull in, because I know I'm constantly going to be fed. Even if I don't catch a fish today, you're going to provide fish tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just been so like it's been like stressful, but it's also been refreshing, because like at that time, you know, like I was just so worried, you know, like I was like, God, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to keep my fiance? Yeah. You know, like she's not gonna want a broke boy. She's not gonna want a boy like a guy with no job. Yeah. Like how am I gonna live? How am I gonna eat? How am I gonna prosper? You know, like how am I gonna get from place to place? And just like just picking up my word. Like it was literally just as simple as picking up my word. Yeah. My word, a pen, and a couple of highlighters, to be like, all right, you said it. It's in your word. It's done. Yeah. I don't have to worry about anything else.
Word never comes back void, bro.
It never comes back void, because like in January I was so stressed. Now it's March, bro. I work maybe 2 or 3 days a week, and that's enough to sustain me, to live in my house, pay my rent, have like all this extra money to like do like my business ventures and like invest and like do other things. Yeah. And I've not lost any quality time with my fiance, and I haven't lost any quality time with God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's become habitual for me to get up every morning and just like crack open my word, be like, and first give thanks to God that I can even do that. Like I have the ability
to do
that, and to like call in His name and be like, yo, like I'm gonna be in Your word. Like there's no reason for me not to be there. And like I had made a post on Instagram yesterday.
I seen that. Yeah.
Like that wasn't even my word. Like that was like his word. It's like, yo, like the faithfulness that God has to his children who are obedient.
Yeah.
How could you not want to continue to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the least that you can do, because God's giving you everything. He's giving you life, health, and strength. He's giving you provision. He's giving you love. He's giving you like all of these different things. How can you not? Like, how can I not?
Yeah.
How dare I be?
How do we even lose sight of it? Like,
right? Like,
isn't it crazy? Like we're really the sheep. Like, it's really just sheep to a shepherd, bro.
It is. It's like how it's almost like, how dare I? Like, how dare I be upset about this thing, knowing that God's got it?
Yeah, like, has he not proved himself already?
Right, already. Like, there's been plenty of times I'd be, bro, I should be dead. I should not
Literally,
even be here. But God has been like so good and so faithful to the people who have been obedient. Like, thank God for like the obedience of my parents, and they're just like they consistently pray, or they had both of them have consistently prayed, and now my mom consistently prays, and you know, like I just been covered with that my whole life, and like Proverbs 22:6, you know, train up a child in the way they shall go. Like that's just been my thing.
Isaiah's verse.
That's my verse, because like the
verse of your life, like
quite literally, and that's solely because of the obedience of my parents. You know what I'm saying? And like now that's translated over to me, like me being obedient. Now I see why like they've just been like so in tune and so like immersed in his presence. Because like, how can you not be? Yeah. How can you not give thank you? How can you not give thanks to a God that is woken you up every single morning and placed breath in your lungs? Yeah. How can you not give thanks to a God who has made a way when there should have been no way? There's no way that I should have not had a job in January for like 4 weeks and still been able to pay rent. I had a car. I have my fiance. Like, there's no way I should be. There's no way I should be able to do the things that I'm doing. But like, just because of like the obedience and the patience, you know, and like that's in the highs and in the lows, bro. I've had to learn that too. That's been a tough lesson. Like
obedience in the highs and the lows.
Yo, obedience in the highs is so difficult.
Easy. No, in the high it's easy.
No, in the high, I feel like for me.
Wait.
For me, when I'm on the mountaintop, it's difficult to be obedient, because I'm like, I've got everything I need. I don't need anything else. I don't have to like.
I thought you meant obedience when it's. I thought what you were saying was obedience when it's good. Like knowing it's going to be good is easy. That's what I thought you were saying.
Oh yeah, no. Obedience, like
that success gets you ahead, bro.
Right, it does. Like you're like, yo, I'm on top of the world. Like me and God can go on a little hiatus because I don't need him anymore. You know how difficult it is to be like that. When you're secure, when you're comfortable, it's hard to like get back
Solomon,
to.
Bro.
It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? Solomon had everything,
and then was a little
like
little freaky deaky.
Right, yeah. We're not gonna talk about that book. That book is for married people
like
only.
A lot of wives, had a lot of women, and lost it all.
Like, yeah, you lose it all, and like that's when it's like, okay, God, I need you. Like I've had to learn that lesson.
Yeah. It's crazy that he still shows up even in our disobedience. Though. Right. Like that just shows how good God is. It's like he doesn't.
That's his faithfulness, bro. Exactly. Like his graciousness and his faithfulness is so good to the people who are obedient, even when you're not obedient. Like I don't know, man. Like that's just been like a huge lesson. Like just the lesson of obedience is like, it's like when you're disobedient, he's there. When you're obedient, he's there even more. Yeah. But even like I said, in the highs, like being on a high, I was like, yo, I'm on top of the world, man. I got a job. I don't have to worry about anything. I've got my rides all set up. And then I lost it, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? You know, like that's when like my faith in God is like, that's when my faith gets tested, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? And you know, you spend like a month or so. And you're like, wait a minute, I've got the cheat code. Yeah, I've got everything I already need. You know, like why am I worrying about this? And like even in that valley, I'm still gonna praise. And then when I get to that mountaintop, I'm gonna praise even harder because I was just in that valley. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just been like those lessons, man. They've been flowing in my head, and like just being in the New Testament. I've done a New Testament. I've done like a deep dive and a deep study in the New Testament, man. And there's been a lot of good things, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, those have been my favorite books so far.
Don't even get Isaac started.
They're so. I'm telling you, it's the
1 Corinthians
so
theologian.
That's
what I call them.
It's been so good, you know, and like even being in church, you know, like the last message that we heard was just a message of obedience. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to be obedient like Abraham. Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son, his kid. You know what I'm saying? Like now in 2024, if you were to sacrifice your kid for the obedience of God, you'd be shunned. No. You'd be canceled. You'd be exiled, excommunicated, whatever. Like,
Pastor said something specifically this past Sunday. I think it was in order to have what Jesus has.
Yeah, in order to have what Jesus had, you must be willing, and you must do what Jesus was willing to do. Yeah. So he was willing to go and lay his life down for all of mankind. Yeah. At this point, bro, I'm ready to do that. Like I'm ready to be that. And kind
just even
of
think about like even before the cross, even if there was no cross, which thank you Jesus there was, but think about all the stuff he even did on earth and the obedience that he had on earth to be obedient to God. And it's like between the healings, the miracles, being a servant to other,
right?
Like for even going into come to be served, but to serve,
right? And even going into the desert to be tempted by what tempts us ourselves, you know,
like showing that he like everything that we go through, he already went through as well. Like he has felt the temptations of lust, of wanting things, of literally every single thing that we feel he has felt already. And that's why people are like, oh, how can you serve a God that doesn't know what he knows everything we felt. That's why we have Jesus, who is God in human form, who came down and said, you know what, I love him so much, I'm gonna lay my life down. And it's like that's just the manifestation of who God is. And it's just like that obedience on earth is the reason why we can be obedient now. And it just shows it's like, okay, like in order to do what he has done, we need to do what he did. And it's like that was heavy on my mind.
Yeah,
too.
that was heavy. Really it was heavy on mine too, because like, you know, like even the person we call the King of Kings was obedient.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And his obedience is what's given us all the favor that we have today, man. And let me tell you, that favor ain't fair.
It's not.
What?
It is not. Well, it is not. The walk ain't easy, but the walk is worth it, man.
Right? When you have that obedience, that favor is not fair, bro. I'm telling you, like just the things that God has for you, and then when they're meant for you, when they come to you, and you're like, where did this come from? You know where it came from. It's like that's because of the obedience. Obedience for sure.
All right, so what should everybody expect from us the rest of 2024?
The rest of 2024, definitely expect maybe weekly or bi-weekly episodes, depending on like our schedules, because like the way that jobs have been working out. Like I said, I work normally like 2 or 3 days during the week, and then I'm off the other 4. But I do have like a lot of other things that I do at night, like church rehearsals. I have like meetings, teaching, all that stuff. Yeah. So
it's the same thing for me. New schedule is 10 to 6. So, but we're gonna be back. We're gonna be consistent. We're gonna be here. Like, this is generally something we enjoy doing, and like I just want to stress that it's not something that feels like an obligation, and I think that's why I love it. It's like I said, like, and I think we were clear on this. Like, this is just such a raw voice of like how we feel.
Yeah, like us.
This is what we learned. Like, we're just regular Christian young adults who go through our daily lives trying to figure everything out, who are no better than nobody else, who just enjoy podcasting. And I think our biggest thing is just to share that. Like, we're legit 24, 21, trying to figure life out. Like, nothing is figured out over here. And, we just want to provide comfort for people who don't have anything figured out either, because this is what being a young adult looks like. It's not having things figured out, but trusting in God, knowing that he's going to figure everything out for you. Amen. That he already has figured everything out for you, and that your steps are ordered. And it's just understanding that it's like, okay, yes, do your best at working towards everything that you want, but also make sure that your will is aligned with his will. And it's a promise, not our promise, but God's promise. Everything is going to be okay.
Right. So you can definitely expect, us to just be on here and just talk like really deep diving into those ideas of like what it's like being not even just a young man, but just a young adult and a Christian, like especially in the world of 2024, man, where everything is everything is kind of like spewed with hate, and like we just want to spread the love.
Be the opposite, literally.
Right. Yeah. We want to spread the love of Christ. We want to just be like Jesus.
Yeah. As much as we can.
Yeah, you can definitely expect that. You can expect probably a couple of vlogs. Like we'll be doing like these podcast episodes, but we're definitely gonna have like some other things going on. Like I want to get back into content creating. I just got this new camera. I got some lavalier mics, which are cool. Yeah, and then we're just gonna be exploring. You'll definitely see more of us, more of our friends, fiancés who are soon to be wives. Yeah. Interviews.
Definitely, we got a lot. We got a lot, definitely.
And hey, I want y'all to tune into my boy Eli. right? Follow him on Instagram. Now, this is a plug we could do. Follow him on Instagram because he gives out a lot of biblical encouragement and a lot of good words that could be used for your daily life or even just like sent to friends, you know? So definitely tune into that. Tune into the content that I'm going to be creating.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, you know, like we just really love and appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
We really,
even
really
sticking
do.
by. Like, we're definitely going back to the thing that, and I was telling Zay, the thing that kind of was unfortunate about this whole situation was like when we had ended up leaving is when the podcast low-key started taking off.
Yeah, started to take off.
Like it started getting
we started gaining a little bit of traction.
And we were like, yo, God is moving
notoriety.
through this. Yeah. But, you know, just to be able to rebuild, like, we're always going to be building. So, you know, just to even, like, be back here, you know, it's honestly, forget about the numbers, forget about who hears this. I just care more about that one person that listens to this and feels comfort. Yeah. You know, they feel fed. They feel like, you know, just overall, like, gravitated towards this, you know, and that's what I care about. I care about reaching the one. You know, we reach the one and then allow God to work through the rest, you know, and, you know, I just can't stress that enough because, you know, the second you start stressing numbers, you start to lose sight on the true meaning behind this. And like we said, this is nothing but to just spread the love of Jesus and just show you guys, like, what does it look like to be a young adult who are trying to be obedient to Christ, but also live out their lives. Like, literally, that's literally what we are. And, you know, just figuring out day by day. But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7. Well, really, episode 1. We could call this season.
We could call it season 2.
Season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1.
We are back.
Yeah, we are back. You know the sayings. You know how it goes. Tell your friend to tell your friend to tell your friend to tell her grandma
to tell her grandma
to tell her grandma to tune into the OCC podcast. Be a part of the OCC family. We definitely gonna have some business ventures coming along. You know, we might have some merch. We might have a little merch drop.
We gotta see. We're gonna see what God does.
Yeah, we'll see how God provides. But we definitely want to get everywhere. We want to be able to just
connect. Like,
we want to spread out. We want to have some people come on and speak about their walks of life and how everything is going with them and in their walk with Christ. You know, so like I said, man, tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram. We'll probably be starting up some more social medias, Twitter, Facebook, all
Reels
that fun
is coming
stuff.
back at the Old Church Couch on Instagram, at Old Church Couch on TikTok. At Old Church Couch on YouTube, literally. So
Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Google. We're literally everywhere. You look up Old Church Couch. You can even Google it. It'll come up. Yeah, God is good. God is faithful. Yeah. Tell your friend to tell her friend to tell her friend to tell her friend to tell her grandma to tell her auntie to tell her grandfather. The Old Church Couch is back. We are better, and God is good.
God is good, and so this has been Season 2, Episode 1 of the Old Church Couch. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Stay prayed up. Stay blessed.